What's going on, guys? I thought I'd do a quick video today about what I've learned whilst living in the van part-time. I do get a lot of questions which are more about the practicality of living in a van. So where do you go to the toilet? Where do you eat? Where do you sleep? Where do you have a shower? Those sorts of things. And I think what I'll do is address those in a later video and be a bit more specific about them. But what I wanted to touch on today is more about what I've learned more internally and introspectively, as opposed to the physical struggles or things that have been made easier. So, as I mentioned in previous videos, I'd say the last 12 months, but maybe it's been 10 years. I can't really say. I've really focused on what I need in life, and I don't really need that much. I really don't. I've been referred to as living a very monk style life. I don't watch TV. I don't go out partying. I don't go to the pub. I do socialise, but I do enjoy solitude a lot. And what I've gained from this is it's almost confirmed just how little I need, which has been fantastic. Last thing I wanted was to start living like this and then realise, oh, I want this instead. I need this, I need this, I need this. It's just confirmed exactly what I thought. I've stripped it all back and I really don't need that much. And there's been a massive emphasis on what I have as opposed to the things that I need. I suppose when you're in a house, you have the luxury of accumulating things, getting more and more stuff, whereas here you don't have that luxury. It's pretty much a one in, one out situation. And for that alone, you get a really great appreciation for the little things, stuff that's not extraordinary in the slightest. Coffee in the morning, which I'm just sort of in the process of making actually. Coffee in the morning becomes somewhat of a ritual, whereas at home it was a ritual, but it was more like a autonomous ritual. I just woke up, flicked the kettle, instant coffee, bing bang bosh, just to try and wake myself up. Whereas whilst I'm waking up in the van, I am very aware as to where I am. I'm very aware that the birds are singing. I'm very aware that it's a little bit cold outside. Just I feel very more aware. And it's a little bit cooler in the mornings now, despite us having the heat wave. So that first coffee that you have feels so much different than what it does at home. It's hard to explain. The only way I can explain it is when you wake up and you go camping and you have a sausage butty. It tastes so much different, so much better than it does having a sausage butty at home. The other thing I've noticed is that the luxuries that I have at home, because as I said, I am part-time, I'm not doing it full-time, so I am within a house 4 days a week. The little things, which again, they're not extraordinary things, but they were things that I took for granted. So having a shower becomes way more enjoyable. At the same time, I have an understanding of scarcity, so I'm not in the shower for 30-40 minutes at a time. I'm just do the job, but I'm very grateful for said shower. And I will address a practicality question. I shower every single day. I'm able to shower every single day. Before anyone is wondering, oh, do you only shower 3 times a week? No, I shower every day. I swim 4 times a week within the swimming pool, as well as having a shower. And I'm hoping to get back to doing a bit of wild swimming again. I actually prefer wild swimming in the winter than I do in the summer, weirdly enough. But anyway, that's for a different conversation. So another thing I've learned is just to relax, because the pace in which my life was, which again it's not like I was running around like a headless chicken when I was in a home, but I became very aware that time was limited. So if I wanted to read my book, I'd say to myself, you've got 30 minutes and you need to read this and blah, 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 blah. Whereas now, I've been graced hours and hours and hours at a time, and I'll just read until I want to read. And reading makes me really tired, so I'll have a little sleep after, which is very nice when said like that. But when you've been so used to watching the clock and being a clock watcher and working to schedules, it's very hard to stop that sort of living. So the first week, even though I knew I had 4 hours of downtime to do whatever I wanted to do, I was still watching the clock. So I've had to teach myself just to relax, I'd say the biggest thing that I've learned, and this is something which I think everyone struggles with, irrespective as to where you live, how you live, I forgot to put my water in. It's a fear of judgment, and it's that's something which is hard, I think, for people to admit. For me personally, it was big to admit that I lived with a fear of judgment. And when you live with a fear of judgment, life becomes very performative. You start behaving in a manner in which you want to be seen to be doing the right things or saying the right things. And as a result, personally, I feel like you're not living your true life. And I don't know whether I subconsciously did it, but this van, I'll show you a picture of it. This van is bright yellow. It is bright yellow. And I think personally, I shouldn't do that. I think personally, the reason I went with a bright yellow van is because it comes with judgment. And I wanted to prove to myself that you can be judged, and being judged is okay. Because it's seen as quirky, it's seen as mad, it's seen as... The amount of people have said to me, why have you got a yellow van? And I say, why not? People have said to me, are you living in a van? Are you okay? Are you blah, blah, blah. And to begin with, I'd give a little bit of an overshare and I'd tell the whole story because I was worried about the way people were going to judge me. And as time has gone on, and we're only maybe 2, pushing 3 weeks in, now I have absolutely no issue in saying to someone, yeah, I'm in a van, and it's absolutely fine. And that for me has been such a massive, massive improvement in my fear of being judged. And there's still elements of it where I worry about the way things may come across, the way things look to people. I think it's only natural, but that's been the biggest thing to me. The biggest life lesson I've learned is that people are going to judge, and that's absolutely okay. That's absolutely okay. For me personally, as long as I'm doing something which isn't hurting me, it isn't hurting anyone else, then it doesn't matter. In the perfect world, if I'm doing something that benefits me and it benefits someone else, or even if it doesn't benefit me and it benefits something else, even better. But if I'm not hurting myself and I'm not hurting anyone else, let people judge. Let them have an opinion. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, just a few things that I've learned along the way, and I'm sure as time goes on, I'm going to learn even more. It's a very nice time to start van life, or maybe not nice, but it's very easy time because the weather's been on my side. It's not raining all the time, it's not snowing. I've still got a little bit of time to kit the van out whilst it's good weather, but I'm sure once the nights get colder and the days get shorter, it's going to get even more difficult. and I'm going to learn more, because personally I feel that the most valuable things that we learn in life are through struggle, not through suffering or torment, but just struggle. So I'm here for it. I'm very much from the way of thinking of get comfortable being uncomfortable. So that's where we're at. As I said, I'll address more practical things about my setup and give you a bit of a van tour. There's not really much to tour. It's pretty much a crew cab 2018 Peugeot Partner, which is bright yellow, with loads of stuff in it, which just needs to be organised. So thank you very much for listening, and I'm going to enjoy this coffee. Peace.